All right, here we go, baby. Let's talk a little Dolphins with Marcel, Louis-Jacques, and of course, brought to you by Welt Rheaume. We love Jeff. We love Dan. 954-966-4646. It is hurricane season till November, so I hope we don't get hit by anything, but if we do, you call them before you call the insurance companies because they will be by your side. They're going to be your left tackle. Now, the question is, Marcel, who's going to be the left tackle for Miami because Teron Armstead got injured today. Now, we don't know how serious it is, okay? So let's not overreact on this, but because it's Teron Armstead, Marcel, we have to react.
Yeah, and this is the thing that we've been talking about with Teron Armstead for months now. You know what you get with Teron, and as of late, you're going to get elite caliber play when he's on the field, but he is going to miss 2 to 3 games a year. That is the standard that he is set. His body is set for the past 3-4 however seasons. I'm not wishing it upon him. I'm not saying I'm not faulting him for it even. I'm saying that is just what we have seen from him. That is the consistent pattern that we've seen. So again, we don't know if he's going to miss time here. Their season starts. He was, I'm not boots on the ground right now, so I'm not going to pretend like I was, but based on reports from people who I trust, first play of team drills before he was attended to on the sideline and carted away back into the locker room. The cart can mean a number of things, but I think it's important to remember somebody with a leg injury, they're not going to make him walk back to the locker room. You know what I mean? Like, if it's minor, if it's major, it doesn't matter. They put how much money? $70 million into this guy. They're going to cart him.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It could be precautionary. That's all it is. Because they even at the moment don't know how bad it is. So why make them walk on it and make it worse? Then again, it might not be that bad, but they don't know. So at the moment, the best thing to do is obviously put him on the cart. He already had his sneakers out. So you kind of thought that he wasn't really going to get a full workout today as it is. So, it's one of those that he was probably going to get some work in, get his spikes off, get his sneakers on and chill, and he couldn't even get that much in.
It's again, you know what you're getting with Teron. He's not a guy that necessarily needs reps like that. So it sucks to see him go down when, it sucks to go so early in team drills, especially when he hadn't really been participating in them over the past, we'll call it 2 weeks or so. But it is it's nerve-wracking, but I'll say this. This is the most prepared the Dolphins offensive line depth has been for an injury to a starter. I think this is the deepest this line has been.
Correction, by the way, I was going to say, at least this time around, we look at Kendall Lamb and we say, shit, dude, they actually have a guy that's looked good at that spot behind him, which that's not been the case. And so maybe Kendall Lamb can actually do the job. Who knows?
You see Kendall Lamb, you see Isaiah Wade, and there's, Cedric Ogbuehi. These are guys who have experience starting in the NFL, and you can't say that before, because the whole reason why Kendall Lamb is here is because the Dolphins didn't have guys behind Teron last year. So it's not a situation where they need to sign guys off the street on Thursday to play on Sunday. They do have some depth this year. I'm not saying it's going to be a 1-to-1 transition, right, but they do have depth this year.
And let me play a domino effect thing here, so maybe we give people context on everything going on. Okay, so really you want Austin Jackson to figure out that right side, because that will make life so much easier. Why do I say that? Because all of a sudden, Mr. Alabama, Cotton, is showing something, and he could be your left guard. And if he frees you up at left guard, okay, and he takes it away from Eichenberg, Isaiah Wynn has a couple of years at left tackle experience. Kendall Lamb has looked good right now at left tackle. So if he's out for a bit, you have two guys that could actually compete for that left tackle spot, and somebody actually back him up. Isaiah doesn't have to go to left guard if Cotton continues on this upward trajectory. So really, Austin Jackson's domino effect is huge, because if he fails, then you're stuck with trying to move Wynn or Lamb over, whereas you'll still be pretty good off if this Cotton kid really continues to develop, because he's really looking like like a road grader at the moment. And I think the pass pro stuff is the stuff that he's got to adjust to a little bit more. But when it comes to like putting a hat on somebody, it looks like Cotton can do that pretty well. So all of a sudden now, like you just said before, they're better suited for this. So while panic sets in a little bit with Tehran, you should calm down a little bit, because they actually have some options and they've kind of like forecasted stuff like this.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but again, like you have to prepare because this is what you get with Teron Armstead. Like it's the precedent. Like I've said before, you know that, and it seems like Greer has learned his lesson from their depth issues last year. And in Austin Jackson's case, as far as how he's holding down right tackle, we have seen competent play from him over a sustained period of time. Not in a game situation per se, because he got hurt so early on last year, but we saw it throughout the summer last year. Like I have more hope for Austin Jackson. I am more optimistic about Austin than I am about Liam. I think left guard is wide open right now. I think
That's
right
fair.
tackle, I think Austin's, if I had to guess, I think he locks that down heading into camp or heading into the season.
By the way, Robert Jones backing up Cotton. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, Robert did a serviceable job last year. You know what I'm saying? So
he's a good depth lineman.
if Cotton
Danfini is going to be a
figures it
fine.
out, right? If Cotton figures it out, you even have a backup for Cotton. If Lamb can do the job, you have a backup in Isaiah Wynn, and Isaiah Wynn can back up the left guard, and he can back up the right tackle. And so, just calm down, folks.
Yeah, it's gonna look. I heard this, or I've read this phrase. I don't remember where or who said it, but to paraphrase, like it says, "Don't spend a lot of time worrying about the future, like worrying about the worst case scenario, because if it comes true, then you've put yourself through that mentally in advance, and then again when it actually happens. So you're living it two times.
Right.
Like if it happens, it's going to happen whether you worry now or not. So you might as well just stay uplifted, stay grounded, stay positive. And it'll suck if it turns out this knee injury is serious, but like you don't put yourself through, doom and gloom two times.
Yeah.
So if you try to like, it's taken me years to really like grasp that and like really apply that. But that's something that like I do in my life. I would recommend you guys do, not just in football case, but like just in life overall. If you're worried about a big assignment, you're worried about layoffs, you're worried about this, that, and the third, you deal with it when you get there. Try to prepare, but don't kill yourself up here, like trying to figure out, what's going wrong.
Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, personal injury, reach out to Welt Rheaume. Even if you think you don't have a case, call Jeff Welt now, run it by him. He'll tell you if you have a case. Don't wait, because if you wait too long, you may not have a case. So call. Consultation's completely free. 954-966-4646. Tough to hear about Brandon Peely, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
that
that's
guy, he was playing really well. I think he was kind of locking up that final tackle spot, and maybe
they
he
don't
did
have
all
it. Like they don't have a backup tackle. That the John Jenkins days are gone. Like John Jenkins ain't walking through that door right now. So like they need that depth tackle piece, and Peely is looking like that guy. Again, looks like it was a neck injury. Everybody on a knee for a while. From what I read from people on the ground, the guys I trust, the beat members I trust, he was able to walk off on the field and get looked at further. We're gonna await, further testing from there. But good to see that he was able to get up. Just from just a human perspective, like forget football for a second. Like a neck injury is scary. So glad to see that. I'm sure the Dolphins are saying, thank God, we get 2 days off, or we get a day off between now and game day, because this is a heavy practice in terms of guys going down.
Yeah, and they kind of toned it down a little bit after the Tehran Armstead injury, a little bit there on offense. But it looked like Braxton Berrios was one guy that was shining a lot. And I think a lot of us that kind of looked at this, I know a lot of you out there got on the chosen bandwagon to be the number 3 wide receiver. I just never looked at it that way because he doesn't fill the role of a number 3 wide receiver. He's more in this offense. He's more of a backup to your wide outs more than anything else. He's kind of a waste to use him as he's kind of a waste to use him as a slot. And I always thought that Berrios would be the guy that's going to eat the most. You do you feel the same way?
I think Chosen had a good spring, but Barrios has like a more consistent skill set. You know, his ability to get open in the short to intermediate part of the field, his ability to draw mismatches underneath the safeties. Like I think that was a more applicable skill set for this offense. Robbie still has speed to burn, and I could see him like a Trent Sherfield type. You know what I mean? When he might catch somebody slipping and go for 70 yards.
I have no problem with that, but it's when Waddle and X aren't on the field. That's when not X, Tyreek and Waddle aren't on the field. He's my backup to my wideouts, but in my slot, I need Berrios there the entire time. I need Berrios or working a tight end. I just don't think Robbie's one of those guys. I don't think he's shifty in that sense, and because of his body, dude, that punishment too in the middle. Whereas Berrios is a little, he's a little fire hydrant. You know what I mean? And he's also very good at you're not going to get a clean shot on him. He's one of those
that Tyler Lockett school of not being hit.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Exactly. Tyler Lockett. Warwick.
No,
I always use Warwick Dunn as that example, but youngins already don't even know who Warwick Dunn is anymore. So Tyler Lockett is the guy. That's a good one. I like that because Marvin Harrison was like that too.
That guy. Also, speaking of Marvin Harrison, man, like I didn't know. We know his son is very good. I know that he's very good. I've seen some highlights. But I never looked closely enough to see what the guy looks like, what the kid looks like physically. For who his dad is,
right?
Where are these genes coming from, man? Marvin Harrison was 5'10", $180. Marvin Harrison Jr. is 6'2", 205, 210, massive guy.
He's an athlete. He's the athlete that Marvin wasn't. Marvin was a quick, shifty athlete, but he wasn't a guy that was going to be in the air. He wasn't going to be physical. But that's what I loved about Marvin Harrison. See, the best players in the world are the ones that understand who the hell they are, and they know their limitations. You know what I mean? Sometimes Tua doesn't know his limitations. Dude, you're not the guy to put a shoulder into anybody, so stop it. That was Marvin Harrison. You were never going to see him put a shoulder into anybody or no, he was going to slide. He was going to run out of bounds. You were never going to take a shot at him. Why? Because he says, I'm going to burn you here, and then I'm going to burn you in the next down. I'm going to burn you in the next down. I don't need those extra 3 yards and take a hit to the head. Screw you. And so that's what I loved about Marvin Harrison. He knew who he was, and then he maximized it where he should be in the Hall of Fame. That's the kind of player he was. But his son, holy shit, dude.
Damn, man. And if we're talking
or some shit like that, there must have been somebody else that he got the genes from, because he got some from Marvin, but he got some from somebody else. Maybe mom's really athletic. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. If we're talking about two wide receiver tandems, Harrison and Wayne way up there, Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce way up. Torrey Holt's numbers, if you don't know them, go look up Torrey Holt on Sports Reference and check out that level of consistency. He had an 8-year stretch where it was 13, 14, 14, 13, 15, ridiculous numbers. And he's not in the Hall of Fame somehow. But Isaac Bruce is. I think Torrey Holt might have been the better receiver, but those two
belong in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's not a look, man. We go through it here with Clayton and Duper. It's just, and neither one's in the Hall. And Clayton, I watched it. Clayton was the second best receiver in his era. While the stretch that he was on, only Jerry Rice was the best receiver. He was the second best receiver for a stretch in the NFL. And, he's not in the Hall. So what are you
It's
going to do overall? All right. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from here on out with the offensive line. I don't expect Tua to play this week. I don't care what. I know McDaniel was kind of having fun with everybody and all that stuff. I still think it's week 3 that you see Tua. I still think this week they got to go with the backup quarterbacks and figure out what the hell they have there. And now it's Ron's in.
I still go by precedent, and the precedent that McDaniel set last year is that Tua's going to get a little bit of run in game 2 and a little more extended run in game 3. That is what I would guess happens. I think there's some things that, like, this whole looking off the defense saga thing. Like, I think, like, I would like to see him in a game scenario apply something that he learned this week, just a series or two, just to get your feet wet, and then play him for a quarter against Jacksonville next weekend and bubble wrap him. And it's fine from there. But if we're going off precedent. He played last year. I would expect him to play at least a little bit on Saturday here coming up.
By the way, Tyreek Hill said that Teron told him he's good and just old. So we'll see if that's the case. What do you got going on ESPN, my man, so folks can check you out?
I was about to say that. Who told us? Didn't somebody tell us Jalen Ramsey was good after that? I wish people understood. While I respect the hell out of every player on that field, I'm not necessarily trusting these guys at all when it comes to injury report. Like, you guys y'all don't understand. When we talk to these guys, it is directly off the practice field. They know exactly as much as we do. So, that's why it's pointless.
I love the part where he just says "just old." That's why I had.
It's just all. It's fun. It is funny, but don't take it to heart. I remember how the Ramsey thing came out when people started making up. Well, I know you said I'm talking more fan wise, when people started running with all type of rumors. Oh, he's good. It just cramps. It was cramps.
Fine. Kohu said he's fine. I told everybody the same thing you just said. Now, Kohu don't know shit, bro.
Yeah, I love Cater, bro. He is not going to report on an injury directly off the practice field. What else is he supposed to say? It's either going to be, he's going to be good, or I don't know. There's nothing else he's going to say. But in terms of what I'm working on,
all well versed with HIPAA. They're all well versed on that. So, because they know how to use it for their own protection. So they're not going to screw their teammates over also talking about somebody else's injury. The two things players don't do. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Unless you're an idiot like Baker Mayfield. You don't talk about another man's money. Remember when Baker did this shit with Duke Johnson? And you don't talk about another man's injury, personal stuff. Players never do that unless, again, you're Baker Mayfield and you want to be an idiot. No. But outside of that, mostly 99.9999999% of them will not talk about another man's injury or another man's money. They leave that alone, dude. That is sacred. Okay?
Yeah, it is. But in terms of things what I'm working on, I got something exciting coming out on Saturday, or something I'm excited about. I found Tua's jiu-jitsu coaches. I found them. Every now and then I got to do my job, and I did my job. I found them.
Did you get the bastards in Nelson? Did you get Nelson to get the interview off?
I think if we tried, I would have got my ass whipped. I'm coming in here with a crook neck and an arm sling and all of that. I don't know jiu-jitsu, man, but no, I was able to find them, and we talked about we got to talk about his, what the actual program entailed, how they tailored it to him, what he worked on. Touched a little bit on the overall story is just about his summer, like his transformation this summer, and that was really about, and excited to keep up with them throughout the year as well, just to hear some of the specifics he was able to do, the detail that went into this program, man. I don't want to ruin it now, because I'm gonna say it out here and then I'll blink, and then one of these accounts is gonna say have everything, all that information in a tweet. But that's how we do. That's how sports journalism is nowadays. But I'm excited. It comes out on my light just died. It comes out on Saturday, and I'm excited for y'all to read it. That was again, it was really exciting. Those guys were awesome to work with, awesome to talk to. Can't tell y'all where it is. Can't tell y'all where it is or what gym, what academy. Can't even really use their names. But I found them.
All right.
That's
check
the
it out.
part.
Twitter at Marcel_LJ. That way you'll know when it's posted, and you can check out his new Tua story, and of course catch his work there at ESPN and doing his thing twice a week here with our Welt Rheaume Miami Dolphins report. Marcel, as always, thank you, my brother. Have a great weekend. We'll catch up next week.
Yes, sir.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.